So this video was supposed to be completely different compared to what you're seeing now. I was supposed to write a script, you know, I was supposed to have face cam and all the whole nine, but hold on. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Just for this one time, I'm just gonna do it raw, pause, because this story is doesn't have a happy ending, never will, and hopefully there's no hopefully, it realistically never will get resolved or anything. But here we go. A few of you may think, hey, this is a clickbait video. It's really not. The title is not lying to you. I wouldn't lie to you. So 3 months ago tomorrow, well, today when you guys are watching this, actually 3 months ago today, I had moved to Minnesota because Miami, Florida sucks. The economy and the world just sucks in general. So I wanted to get a job. I wanted to save money, you know, pursue my school, which is I'm trying to become a vet assistant for now. Its school is about like $2,500. As some of you great brain people know, smart people know, YouTube doesn't pay you. It doesn't pay you anytime soon. So I can't really rely on that. Plus, I'm mainly doing it for, you know, as some people would say, a hobby. I'm just kind of enjoying myself while, you know, making the world a little better place as much as I can by making people's days a little better, making people smile. So I went to Minnesota because I have family over there. I have my dad's side, my dad's brother who lives there. So my dad's brother, he's married to my aunt. So I'm just gonna call them uncle and aunt. No names will be spilled here, obviously. So I live with my aunt and uncle. They were very welcoming on my flight there. They paid for the flight. They paid for everything. They said I can live there rent free as long as I'm saving my money that I'm gonna get from a job and just basically working towards my main goal, which is, at the time I had $700 in debt, credit cards and stuff like that, and I needed to pay that off before I could start saving money for schooling, which again is $2,500 for the 6 months of schooling I'd need for my vet assistant degree or whatever it's called. So fast forward, I'm there, I'm chilling. As soon as I get there, I feel uneasy. You know, it's not home to me. It never will be home to me, and it never would have been even if things ended on a good note. So on the first day there, I was like, yeah, I want to leave. I low-key don't want to be here. It feels weird. I feel weird. I don't feel like I belong here. So I want to go home. I text my parents in the middle of the night, like the same night that I just got there. I was like, hey, can we book me a flight home and just get me out of here? They're like, you just give it a little bit. It takes time to adjust, because obviously I've never been away from my family for this crazy amount of distance. So naturally, I am scared, obviously, I'm being on my own. To reiterate, I haven't seen or talked to any of my cousins for years. Last time I saw them, they were children like me, teenagers, like 12, 13 years old, you know? So I haven't seen them in quite some time. So in my head, I was like, yeah, I don't know these people. I'm alone. I have no one really. Let me just go home and just call this as a bust. As you can see why this video is being made, I didn't leave, but I ran into some issues day one of me being there. Day one is, as soon as I got there, I unpacked my things to make sure everything was nice, because I know airport people, they're not the nicest with your things. So I immediately checked my bags, make sure everything was nice and fixed. First thing I did was turn on my desktop, because the things that I wanted to do there was continue, you know, uploading videos while I'm also saving money, because you can do that. You can have this is a hobby. It's not a job. You're not going to put your full force effort into it either. So my main goal was upload videos, go live, do what I was doing at home, but also having a job and making money. I told them this. I told them countless times, yeah, I'm going to be doing YouTube while I'm here. I hope you guys don't mind. They're like, oh, as long as you're not recording our property, like being defensive about their stuff. And I understand that's their house. They don't want me doing that. But I'm like, oh no, I don't record stuff outside. You'll be fine. I barely use my webcam, but even if I did, it would be behind closed doors. They're like, all right, that's fine. That's cool. We're gonna do what we can to make you feel as comfortable as you can doing that stuff and just being here in general. Now, to me, I was like, cool, that's sick to hear, because obviously my main goal with YouTube would be to continue doing it. trying to get my name out there somehow, and just trying to help people by making them smile every day, if I can even upload every day. Now, to those who were subscribed to me and who still are, I'm thankful for you guys staying subscribed and either waiting for me to upload again or just waiting to hear from me again with your favorite videos like Kakarot or Batman or anything else. Well, here's the issue. I recorded a video while I was over there for Kakarot. I uploaded it. I had a video waiting to be edited for what's its name, Batman, and it's uploaded. All that was uploaded while I was over there. Here's the issue though. That's basically all I recorded while over there and uploaded, if I remember correctly. I could be mistaking some things, but the other videos I recorded with Culture, and I basically didn't edit that Multiverses video and just kept it running. Now there's a reason for that. For the first month there, no jobs were calling back, nothing was happening. I was doing some side gigs, I earned 120 from that, and yeah, and so on and so forth. Nothing was happening. I did 2 side gigs that gave me $120 each, but as you can tell, that is not the same amount as $700. So I was still, you know, asking them, hey, because when I went over, they said, hey, there's jobs here that are open for $20 an hour. $20 an hour is just crazy because the minimum pay in Miami, Florida is $13 an hour. That's the minimum. So the minimum over there was being 20. I was like, yeah, I'm down for $20 an hour, dude. From making nothing to 20 an hour, I can have my things up in no time. Now, it took me over a month to actually land a job because, again, no places were hiring or no places were calling back. So just keep that right there in mind, how there was no jobs hiring and most of them weren't even going for 20 an hour as promised. They were like, every job here is 20 an hour. You can make money easily. We can get you in a job instantly. And you wouldn't have to worry about anything because we wouldn't charge you rent. We would just ask you to save. That's it. Now, before I went over there, one of the things we all knew was they're heavy church people, religious people. And me, I never had an issue. I never had an issue with God. I never had an issue with believing in a God. But the one thing is, I don't want to be forced into going to church either because, you know, that's not something I do, you know? And they're like, yeah, you don't have to go if you don't want to go. No one's going to force you to do anything. And that was like, okay, that's another cool thing. That's good. Because if I would want to go, I'd want to go on my own terms, you know? Now, fast forward a month and my second oldest cousin was able to get me a job at a place he works at called Ace Home and Hardware. And needless to say, I got the job starting at 17 an hour when my cousin who started was getting 14 an hour. And yeah, I was like, that's cool. That's sick. I finally got a job. But the thing that didn't really feel right was it wasn't the promised, you know, payment, which obviously 17 is not that bad. It's not bad at all compared to the 13 I'd be getting at Florida. But again, the move was weird. It was a little uncomfortable of a move, but I still did it and I ended up getting the 17 hours. So I was like, all right, that's fine. I got something, I guess, and we'll just move on with that. The job was for a full-time position floater, which I would be doing every department, which got really hectic at some points for like renting U-Hauls and stuff like that, renting tents and all that, the whole nine. And yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. First day there, they were teaching me cashiering, and I've never liked cashiering because I've never been good with money, but needless to say, at the end of the day, I did learn really well how to count money and everything like that. I'm a pretty decent cashier now after all that. So before I had the job, I keep going back and forth because again, none of this is scripted. This is just me playing this game while just saying the story. None of this scripted, so I'll just keep bouncing back and forth. Anyways, so before I got a job, the second weekend I was there, they're like, all right, wake up Sunday morning, let's go to church. And they woke me up like at 7 in the morning at the night before. I didn't freaking sleep early because I was like, oh, sick, I don't have anything to do this weekend. I just gotta wait for these jobs to call back, or I call them next day or whatever and just see where it goes from there. So my uncle comes in saying, hey, let's go, we're going to church. I'm like, wait, I have to go? Like I was confused. I was like, oh, do I have to? Because when they were leaving, I was like, okay, sick, that's like a good hour and 30. I can record a video and I can, you know, get something out of out there, so a video out there. He's like, yeah, you have to. It's something that we always do in this house, that if you're gonna live here, it's a requirement to go to church because we need you to be following in the words of God while living under our roof. And then that right there just started a 2-hour debate on why I don't go to church and stuff like that, basically explaining to him why I don't do what he does. And again, I have the proof. I have the screenshot saying I didn't have to go anywhere, because I don't like arguing if I don't have certain receipts on some things that that was promised upon, that was not agreed upon. So I have the proof that I didn't have to do anything, but I went anyways because I kind of was forced to go. I had no other choice. I went for a few weeks, and then things happened that yeah, I had to put my foot down at this point. So I get my job, and they pay bi-weekly, which, if some of you don't know, that you get paid every 2 weeks, which is not bad either because it's a big chunk of cash. But then you have to let that chunk of cash just, you know, settle in. You have to basically let it last until your next paycheck. Now, the first paycheck that I got was around it was $600, and it was because they only paid me for the week I was there, because I started at the end of the pay week, so I basically only had 1 week's of pay. Now, if you know me, I collect action figures and toys, all right? So the deal of me saving was save 25% of every check, and I can stay there living perfectly fine. I said, screw that, I'm gonna waste my first check, and I'm gonna save 100% of every check from now on, because 25% over 100% is agreeably better. So I'm gonna save every single bit of money that I get after this one, because this wasn't a full week's pay, and there was something I wanted to get for 4 years, which was the Ginyu Force, SH Figuarts Ginyu Force. Now, I did end up getting them, obviously, and I did proceed to save 100% of every check, but that's where the issue started. I told my uncle in confidence, I was like, hey, I wasted the first check because I'm gonna save up 100% of everything I get now, so there shouldn't be an issue after that. I missed a freaking mini kit. Now, yeah, buying the Ginyu Force immediately was a little weird. Hey, you guys are like, oh, what happened to the whole you saving for your goals? So yeah, I know it was weird, but I bought the Ginyu Force and I'm happy. I wanted them for years since I seen them come out. I was like, I'm gonna wait for them. It's a whole thing that I bought them, and I saved every paycheck from then on. So to me, that is where the issue started. They then started setting up rules and boundaries. Now, to put into perspective, I am a good old whopping 20 years old. I'm an adult. Therefore, some things you would do to kids that you would do differently to adults. Now, they wanted to limit me on my screen time. See, their kids have an hour of screen time a day, meaning after an hour, they can't do anything else on screens. They have to just basically go outside or play inside or something, right? They wanted to limit me an hour of screen time a day. Now, I was like, what? Because let me say one thing, I worked about 9 hours a day, and then the only times I had to chill were Saturdays, because Sundays we would be out for multiple hours a day, not even just 1 hour as I assumed. So I was like, well, why? I'm not even, home for 9 hours of the day, and then when I do get home, I'm not even on my desktop or computer editing, doing nothing. I'm not, because as you guys can see, I haven't uploaded in quite a bit that's like an actual fulfilling video. So I was like, why? And then the times that I do be on my games and stuff, I'd be playing with my dad. And to reiterate what I was saying there, it's me and my dad would always play games when I was at home, no matter what was happening. We would be playing games together, we'd be spending time together. There's some normal things. So the times that I did do anything was with my dad, because I love the guy. So that was one of them. The other one was I have to follow the word of God. Basically, I have to. I'm basically supposed to be with them at church all the time, constantly, researching stuff on God, and basically turning religious. And then the one that set me off was I have to change hobbies. I can't do YouTube anymore. I have to do other things. I have to go out and not basically pursue what I wanted to do when I first got there, while they knew what I was trying to do. Now, I'm not one to have confrontation with people if I don't have to. So what I did was I started fighting back. I started firing back, if that's a way to put it. I basically said, dude, I'm not even on the games for that long. I'm not even on my desk for that long. what's the point of restricting it? And you're probably thinking, what's the point of arguing about it? Because I don't like being controlled. That's why. So if I see something wrong, I'm gonna protest about it because that's not right. I'm not their kid, and I'm not a child. So to limit something that I don't even abuse or use is downright stupid. I told them all that, and they're like, okay, we know how we hear you, we see how you're feeling. So if you don't want to follow these rules, then you have 2 weeks to leave. And I didn't say no. Why? No, I'll work with you. I was like, okay. And he was like, okay, put your 2 weeks in and we'll buy you a plane ticket out. And I was like, okay. I said okay, and I let it be. I didn't argue. I didn't say anything else. But I did say that yes, YouTube is more important to me than anything, and I'm not gonna stop it just because you guys feel like you want me to. So he texts my parents. He's like, hey, just to let you know, Jay is leaving, and he prioritized YouTube over anything else and all that. Later find out that they said that I prioritize YouTube over family too. So I was like, that's not true, but whatever. So what do? I don't argue. I don't complain. I just, every time I came home from work, I started packing up my stuff. So the weekend came, the following weekend from that whole incident. I obviously didn't go to church that Sunday. So that Sunday and Saturday, I started packing up everything because by, I think, Monday, they wanted me to leave. And the people at my job I was so close with, they were all cool people. So I was telling them, hey, I was telling them what was happening at home, and if there's any like affordable apartments, or if anybody I can room with just for a little bit to make it at least to October so I can save money and just, you know, do what I came here for. So the whole time they're all trying to like get me a place to stay, because everybody there at Minnesota, Ace, Marshall, they're all in close contact with almost everybody there, so they know everybody. So my manager and my HR manager were all basically trying to find some place for me to stay for a little bit so I can stay there longer. So my uncle came to me and said, hey, did you did you give your 2 weeks? And I'm like, no. He's like, why not? You're leaving soon. And I'm like, because I'm finding an apartment. I'm in talks with actually getting a place to live so I cannot quit my job. And he's like, why didn't you tell me this sooner? And I'm like, oh, because why would I tell you something that's not guaranteed gonna happen? He's like, so I don't waste my time looking for flights. And then he basically started a whole fight on that. And I was like, dude, I'll just let you know by Monday if I'm gonna stay or not. And he's like, you have till Monday. I'm like, I know, that's what I told you. So again, Saturday, Sunday comes by, and I am in my room packing, not bothering anyone while they're away at church. And the whole day I'm just in my room packing stuff up. I have Corey playing on my YouTube, and I'm just packing my stuff away because obviously I'm not welcomed anymore for some reason. Now come Sunday night, my cousins wanted me, my youngest cousins wanted to watch a Marvel movie with me because we had started the MCU together and we were just gonna watch Marvel movies. They also wanted me to show me Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and we started watching that too. So after all that happened, the show episodes stopped playing. We're all gonna go our separate ways. One of my younger cousins had a foot infection. He was gonna go check out. There's a whole nother story happened with that. I wasn't even part of that. My uncle comes in and says, oh yeah, I was also live that day. I was live for 4 hours that day because my last day there, I just went live real quick with Culture and Boxer just to play some games and get my mind off of things. In that live, I think I even say that I'm packing up. During the live, they came to my room saying, hey, we're gonna eat dinner. And I was like, okay, don't wait up, hold on, I'm still live, I can't go right now, whatever, right? Mind you, this is the first time I've said this. This is the first time I told them, no, I'm not gonna eat right now because I'm live right now. That's the first time I've ever done that because I barely went live, and then when I did, I went live for like an hour, maybe less. Now he comes to my room saying, hey, why weren't you at dinner? And I was like, oh, I was live. I told my cousins, I said my cousin's name. I told him that I'm live right now and I can't come eat right now. And he's like, oh, that was very disrespectful for not eating with your family. I'm like, but I just did it the one time and I said why I wasn't there. I'm never live, so I went live and it just happened to cut in at your guys' early eating time. I'm sorry. He didn't like that one bit. So it started an entire argument of everything that's been happening for the past 2 months that I was there. It got to the point where my oldest cousin had to step in and try to break it up, but my uncle was like, either you move out the way or you leave the house, because he was there for my youngest cousin who had a foot infection. Now, during that whole conversation, he was like, you value YouTube more than your family, you value this over that, you have your priorities wrong, you're just disrespectful to us every day. And I'm there like, when have I ever been disrespectful to you guys? I've never done anything disrespectful. And the whole time they've been talking bad about me behind my back, saying how I'm too broke to afford an apartment to go anywhere, how I'm basically at this age they were already finding apartments, but at this age they were also, you know, pregnant with a kid. So I'm not. I feel like my priority is a little more straighter than yours. His main thing was that me sitting at the desk all day is not good for my mental health. And I told him, dude, what are you, a psychiatrist? Because I'm not even here all the time either. So what damage am I doing to myself that is on a mental level? So it got to an inevitable point where he was like, okay, you're done. You're leaving this. You're leaving this tonight. You're leaving tonight. You might as well find a hotel, because I don't want you here anymore. And I said, cool. Because secretly I've been in talks with my oldest cousin to let me crash at his place until October. So when I leave, I can at least save money until October. So I was like, chill, all right. And then when he left, he said something like under his breath, and I was like, you really had to get the last word? Are you really that childish? And he basically said, are you done? Because I was like mad about it. He said, are you done? And I'm like, and then he's like, nah, you had the final word. Basically acting extremely childish about the whole situation. Mind you, he's a good 40 to almost 50 years old. This guy needs a better hobby, dude. Telling me to find a hobby, I think he's the one who needs to find a hobby. Now, my oldest cousin had told them, hey, I'm gonna take Jay out to the hotel or wherever he's gonna stay at, but I'm gonna be the one driving him. And they're like, no, you can't. We're not allowing you to. And he kept insisting that he is, and they're like, we're gonna call the cops on you if you do. And he said, try me, do it, call the cops. What are they gonna say? That he can't take me? So we went anyways. They legit almost called the cops because they didn't want anybody to help me out in that situation because they're petty. That was the first time I had moved all my stuff. Well, the second time technically, from when I first got there, moving all my stuff back into the suitcases, making sure everything fit, obviously, and then leaving there. That was the first time. Now, I was living with my cousin who is trying to buy my aunt and uncle's old house, so they technically still owned it. And when they heard the news that I was there, I think you know how they reacted there. They either said, I leave by Sunday. This happened literally the Tuesday of me going there, and they're like, if he doesn't leave by Sunday, I'm kicking you both out. So that's meaning my cousin would have no home, and I obviously wouldn't have a place to sleep at either. Obviously, that's a very, very scummy thing to do to your own son. So me and my cousin were frantically looking at places for me to sleep at until at least the next flight home, which is, to say this is the cheapest flight is crazy. The cheapest flight was $800 for me to go home. The cheapest one was $200, but that would be on the 27th, and I had to leave by the 21st if I'm guessing the dates right. I'm not gonna fact check the dates either. I'm just gonna assume it was the 21st. I'm assuming. So we then ask, hey, can I just stay there until the day I have to leave, which is only like, I think 10 days of the day of me asking that? And they're like, no, that I left disrespectfully, and then I guess since I had a plan of where I was gonna go, that was disrespectful or something. So naturally, I'm at work freaking out because what am I gonna do now? It'll be very scummy to say, hey, I'm leaving soon, but I'm actually leaving the next day. I'm gonna not come in is the last day of me being there. And again, I liked that job. I didn't want to, screw those people over either, because they're very understaffed. They were very understaffed when I got there, and they were when I still left. So they said, hey, we're gonna kick you both out if he doesn't leave. And I was like, dude, we just gotta figure something out for me until my flight gets there. And so I moved again. I moved to my cousin's friend's place who she had leased until September. And okay, I died. Who she was able to have leased till September, so she said I can live there rent free. But the only catch is there were 3 cats. And if you don't know this, I'm very allergic to cats. Like my nose, I can't breathe through my nose. My eyes get really itchy and watery, and the whole nine, the whole allergy shtick. The first night I was there, I had woken up and dude, I was dead. I'm telling you, I had to work the next day. I was practically dead, and I couldn't just, I couldn't do that anymore. So I think the second day of me waking up, I was like, hey man, just let's book the flight and let's just get me out of here. Because I was gonna stay there till the end of September, so I can obviously save the money, but I couldn't do it. My allergies were really bad, and it was painful to just stay there for a night. So I had told my job, hey, I'm leaving coming week, so you have to find a replacement for me or whatever. Even though they were losing a lot of people that week because school and stuff, but they didn't hire people while I was there. They stopped looking for people. Coming the weekend, because that was the first and only weekend I ever worked at that place, but the bus I was taking to get to work didn't deliver on the weekends. So what I had to do was move everything again to my second oldest cousin's house to be able, so he can take me to work, because he lives like a 5-minute 15-minute drive from work. So he was able to take me on the weekend just for the 2 days and pick me up. So after Sunday night is when I was leaving his house, and Tuesday is when I was coming back home on the flight. So Sunday night I had to move my stuff again to my oldest cousin, back to my oldest cousin's house, just to sleep there for the one night, sleep there for 2 nights, Sunday and Monday night, and then leave Tuesday. When I first moved to my cousin's friend's house, I never unpacked anything except like just to play some games. That's when I went live that day too, just to play some games, because I'm not gonna just sit there bored either. So that's the only thing I had unpacked. When I went to my second oldest cousin's place, that's when I didn't really unpack anything, because I knew I was gonna move again, and I did eventually, obviously. So when I moved to my oldest cousin's house, I did the same thing. I didn't really unpack. I kind of just sat there in silence or whatever. And then yeah, I'm home now. I'm back home, and I've been home since Tuesday the 27th, if I get the dates right again. I got home like at 12 at night, 12 in the morning. So it was basically the 28th is when I got back home. So those last 2 weeks there, that all this happened in the span of 2 weeks. Me constantly moving was like the span of 2 weeks, and it was very mentally draining. I don't want to say traumatic, but as soon as I got home that first night, I thought I was gonna wake up back over there, because I had moved so much that none of this really felt real happening. So the next day, the coming day, I didn't even feel like I was home either. I still don't. I feel like one of these times I'm gonna wake up back over there, still trying to figure out where I'm gonna sleep the next night. Because if I didn't have my cousin there, or if my cousin didn't have that friend, we wouldn't have known what was gonna happen to me, really. So when I got home, I cautiously unpacked everything. I ended up doing it anyways. I still unpacked everything, but it was still a little weird to me. It still is, obviously. It still is a little weird to me. But yeah, that's been the absence. That's been the reason I haven't been basically doing anything. And I kind of just wanted to come here, basically give a little story of what happened, and just go back to Lego Batman, And again, I just want to reiterate, thank you everybody who stuck around waiting for another video to come out, and just basically just holding on for me, really. I do all this for you guys, and again, I won't let anything stop me from doing so. So to start this all back up, to bring it all back in, to show that I'm not leaving again, or I can't control life, but to show that I'm at least gonna come back, is with the outro. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, comment down below if there's anything else I should play. Always remember Sadra to kids. And for the first time properly in months, peace.